Arizona school has responded to...
Oh my God, not another school shooting. Has there been one? No, come on, no. Then again, one a day, but...
a number of female students who wore shirts that spelled out a racial slur.
So we reach a situation where school shootings are less important. They don't really make news. But racial slurs, ooh.
So let me give you the details about this. It's regarding 6 Arizona high school students and the Desert Vista high school students wearing the shirts for a larger group photo in which all the shirts spelled out, "Best you've ever seen, class of 2016. But the girls posed for another photo in a smaller group spelling out the slur.
Oh my God, a racial slur. Yeah, no, better get the FBI on this one. I mean, people die, but this is way worse. Which slur did they use? Oh my God, which slur did they use? Cracker? Honky? Chigger? No, wait a second. Chigger is too many letters. 6, right? 6. Beaner? Bossman? Well, Bossman could also be spelled with 7, but yeah, that's only if you spell boss with 2 S's. Well, it's probably not going to be carpet muncher then, because hey, we know that that's way more than 6 letters. But no, yeah, no, this is a huge, huge issue.
Okay, so we're going to show you the picture in just a second. The 6 girls were rumored to be suspended for 5 days. However, the superintendent chimed in and said, no, that's not true. We didn't suspend them for 5 days, but we're not going to tell you what the punishment is because it's none of your business.
What? You mean they didn't get executed on the spot? I mean, that is the going rate, isn't it? I mean, racial slur, therefore you're wrong, therefore you should be taken out of the gene pool. It must have been something bad. I mean, we're talking about this amazing, terrible thing, and we're not talking about people killing each other, but it must be worse than that, because killing still happens a lot, whereas words don't happen that much. Now, I'm not really sure about this one, but yeah, no, come on, give it to me.
I'm very curious to see what happens to these students. Now, there have been numerous reports about punishment, and while we cannot give specifics about the discipline, we can assure you that those reports are inaccurate. We are appalled and disappointed at this behavior, and it will not be tolerated. It is unacceptable for any racial slur to be used, regardless of intent.
Yeah, no, intent. Intent is the main thing. I mean, what were these girls thinking? What was their intent? I mean, yeah, they must have been thinking about a genocide or something, obviously.
So, the shirt spelled out
the N-word.
Now, considering they are standing there with the shirts N-I asterisk asterisk E-R, I assume in this case your N-word is nigger, and not something like Niles, which would fit but wouldn't make sense. Fair enough. So we can't say the N-word, and even in a small bit you guys are posting out there to describe that terrible word nigger, you can't even use the word nigger. I'm sorry, I don't get this. This is the dreadful thing that has happened. Seriously. So, okay, fair enough. Let's be political correct about stuff. I wanted to say shit, but yeah, I can't do that when you say political correct. Shit isn't really politically correct. So let's be politically correct about this one, and let's all have an outrage about using the word nigger. And we're so outrageous that we will call it the N-word, because there are absolutely no other words starting with N. You know, nothing, as in, oh wait a second.
You can see it. And so now they, instead of the G's, they have asterisks there. So what I found interesting about that is there are no asterisks in best you've ever seen class of 2016.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, they're like, oh my God, that's so funny. The letters we have in this could also spell that out. No, they planned it out ahead of time, bothered to make shirts with the asterisks that aren't part of the photo, wore them, right? I mean, so this is enormously premeditated.
Nah, come on, Cenk, you gotta be joking. Premeditated? They use the word nigger. Premeditated? Oh, well, yeah, there goes every defense right out of the door.
Do you know that for sure, though? Because sometimes they'll use asterisks like at the beginning or the end of a sentence just to make it look cool.
I hear you, but this is all we know is it says best you've ever seen, class of 2016, without any asterisks. So,
See, I do love Anna. She is a bright little bulb. She really is. And I don't mean this condescending because you know what? I checked out the picture and she is right. I mean, whilst I'm talking, I have this picture scrolling so you can see this. And maybe I need to zoom in some more. But indeed, the asterisks are basically the spaces between words. Well done, Anna. Restoring my faith in the Young Turks because I do love you guys. I really do.
okay, now at the same time, high school kids do a lot of dumb stuff, and so people are calling for not just suspensions. They think if it's 5 days, it's way too little. Expulsions. Well, they want the principal to be fired.
Yeah, we're not exaggerating. I mean, we've got people losing their jobs. I mean, principals losing their job because a student feels that he's going to go into a hunger strike. So, poop swastikas, get a guy fired. So this, well, yeah, okay, it's no poop swastika, but it's damn near close by. I mean, oh, by the way, she was right. By the way, the asterisks. I just showed the picture. They are there.
So I'm fascinated by both sides of this. First off, I can't believe that in the year 2015, and I'm constantly surprised by this, that there are whole communities where they think like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Look, the N-word, haha. There's
Oh yeah, it's 2016, saying it's 2016. And nobody laughs about racial slurs. Come on, how the hell does that still oh, but yeah, no, it does, doesn't it? I mean, people do still laugh at racial slurs.
Put it on the menu in those kung fu letters, but that don't make it sushi.
Kung fu letters might not be politically correct.
Oh, I thought the one we couldn't say was ching chong.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, this one's sweet. You know, for your rosary rattlers.
Mrs. Cooper, we say Catholics, not rosary rattlers.
My goodness, it's a wonder you people in California can talk at all.
I'm thinking Mrs. Cooper is making rather a good point, don't you think? If every word can be seen as offensive, then every word describing that offensive word eventually will be seen as offensive too. I mean, how long do you think it'll take for people to start complaining about you talking about them and calling them the N-word by actually saying the N-word? I'm assuming it'll eventually happen too, don't you think?
no black people around, and so these young white girls get together and they spell out the N-word and they think, not with an A, with an ER.
We're in a massive bubble. Like I never really realized it until I went to Florida, okay? And by the way, this is South Florida. This isn't like the rest of Florida, which is very different. And I was shocked to see how many people say the N-word when they're not black, in like regular vernacular. Like they just, hey, N-word, can you believe that this happened? Oh my God, N-word. And it's like, stop saying that. It's making me uncomfortable.
So yeah, people use the word nigger. And they do so in some places in America more than other places. And you are flabbergasted by it. Microaggression much? Seriously. I mean, if I'm in a group of people and they use words I don't like and I'm moving in that group, I'll ask them not to. But if it means absolutely nothing, then why am I going to make a big deal out of it? I mean, if people call each other nigger as friends, and there are plenty of movies, and maybe I'll find some, I don't know, might be looking into it, where people call each other nigger and they're not offended by it. But suddenly when you do it, it's offensive. Or when you hear someone else do it, it's offensive. I'm sorry, but you take offense. You're not given offense. And you know, this is something that just occurred to me, considering that the N, the one, because it's not an I, the asterisks, the E and the R are already in the words, it could very possibly also be an accident. True, not very likely, but it could.
Okay, I'm going to say something funny, but I play basketball. So I played basketball all across the country for different reasons, right? And when you play pickup ball, yeah, kids say it to each other all the time. So that's why that's the second half of this conversation is, and we're asking you guys, do you think if it's 5 days, is that enough, or, is it sufficient or not? It's in our app, on the TYT app. Go vote on it, because I'm, again, genuinely curious what you guys think about it.
I didn't know you played basketball, Frank, and I'm not really sure why that's funny, but okay, you play basketball, and you hear kids calling each other niggers. Well, probably not just kids, you probably hear adults calling each other niggers as well. And is this an issue? The only thing I can say is no. Don't forget, Cenk, you're Turkish from birth. There are cultures in Europe, but probably in the rest of the world as well, where Turk is actually an insult. Doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because Turkish people are Turks. Nothing wrong with that. But as soon as you are going to focus on the fact that it could be conceived as an insult, you take away the true meaning of the word and give it a new meaning, and therefore now claim that no one can use this word because of the negative meaning this word has been given. Now, yes, okay, there is a very negative downside to the word nigger. There is. Just like there's a very negative downside to the word goddamned. And there are plenty of people who dislike it. But instead of making a word illegal, because in all fairness, making a word illegal or no longer open for use, you're fighting the whole concept of free speech. Instead of doing that, recognize the word. And if someone says the word nigger as an insult, then the problem is not that he says the word nigger, the problem is that he's trying to insult someone. But if two mates are playing on the basketball court and they call each other nigger and hey, whoa, wow, man, that was a good shot, you nigger, that's a compliment. And the word nigger means jackal. It's just a word to use to describe someone else. It could be a nickname. Who cares? Shouldn't this be the start of the story and not the second part of the story which you will give us halfway through the movie? This should have been the whole opening. The school should have said, oh hey, you girls, you made a picture and it could be read as the word nigger. Not cool. Apologize. And be done with it.
So I feel like 5-day suspension, I don't need them expelled. I don't need them arrested. I don't need the principal, unless there's other facts.
I need them
like if the principal knew and sanctioned it, yes, then you fire her, right? But there's no, that doesn't appear to be the facts at all, right? So on the one hand, I want to tell people sometimes high school kids do stupid shit, suspend them, hopefully, but then talk to them. Like, have a conversation. Do you get, apparently you don't get it, right? So do you get that this is really offensive to some people and they feel like you're targeting them and intimidating them, etc.? It's not like they're in charge. Almost everybody there is white.
Well, I'm sorry, Cenk. You're losing me once again. I mean, it wasn't premeditated because the asterisks are part of whatever they were doing. And whether it's spelled with ER at the end or with an A on the end should not make any difference whatsoever. And that it's not done on a basketball court, again, who cares? So, yeah, do you think they did something wrong? Well, maybe they should have behaved a bit better. So, yeah, slap on the wrist, fair enough. But, oh my God, can we leave it at that? Come on, they used a word.
Right, at least in the pictures that I saw. So, you guys are in charge, and so you have a responsibility with that if you're the majority.
Yeah.
That's the conversation I want to happen. But I'm blown away that yeah, it's not like kids on a pickup court. It's not like, they spelled out the word. They brought the asterisks. They thought it was funny. It wasn't with an A. It wasn't in a rap song. It wasn't like some kid just saying it, which I know a lot of people do it. I know it.
Yeah.
Right? This was more premeditated.
And
the fact that they think that it's cute, it's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, and I assume there are more people like me. It's amazing that this is even considered an issue. Even if they would take the shirts with the asterisks, what they didn't because it was already there, and even if they pre-planned it, and even if the director of the school knew about this, and even all those evens, all these things combined basically make it a non-issue. This is why America has the social justice warriors and the microaggressions, because people make a big deal out of whoop-de-doo. Is it offensive to call someone a nigger? Yeah, probably is. Should it be fallen over as if it's the end of the freaking world? No, it shouldn't. Again, slap on the wrist, say sorry, don't do it again, tell them why it's offensive. Done. If they keep doing it, then we've got an issue. But like this, come on.
it's amazing to me that they thought it was a good idea to take a picture, to take a picture and have it floating around the internet.
Yeah.
And look, more than anything, should they be punished in one way or another? Absolutely, right? What that punishment is, I'm honestly unclear about that. Like, I don't know. But what I think is more important than punishing them with a suspension is having a school-wide education program to understand why these types of actions are unacceptable, right? Because they have no idea. Apparently they think this is totally okay. They need to be educated. Education is what combats all types of ignorance, and this is a symptom of ignorance.
Yeah, you're partly right, Anna, because we could do with a good discussion with the people and explain to them why this is unwanted behavior. I won't say it can't be done, it shouldn't be done, but it's unwanted behavior. But by that same logic, we need to set the social justice warriors and whatever the people call themselves left wings are nowadays, we need them at the table as well. Because as soon as you start talking how people aren't allowed to say certain words and aren't to use certain slang because others might find it offensive, what you're doing is cutting into free speech. So should there be a discussion on why this is unwanted behavior? Yeah, sure, teach them. Let people know why certain things are just not cool. But should we also say that they're not allowed? No. Remember America, land of the free, home of the brave? You're making it America, land of the afraid, and home of the dim-witted. Don't do that. You have freedom. You have freedom of speech. Do you have the freedom to offend? No. But people do have the freedom to get offended. And once you take in one but not the other, you have a problem. Because once people can start saying but that something is offensive and you're going to cater to it, you're never going to hear the end of it. Because anything you say or do can be considered offensive by someone. And if that someone has a group following that's large enough, in the end, you're going to have to do without whatever it is that you did that offended them. And therein lies your problem. Is it not cool that people call people nigger or whatever? Yeah, it's not cool. So teach them. The problem is not that words are offensive, but behavior of people can be offensive. So address the behavior, but not the words.
Yeah, and it's not to say they have to have a certain political point of view. It's just to say, hey, let's talk this through so you get other people's perspective, because it's obvious from their actions that they don't understand other people's perspective. Because as Anna pointed out, not only did they do all this, they took a picture and put it up. So they must have thought it's the most hunky-dory thing they've ever done in their lives.
Right.
So they're genuinely probably surprised. They're like, oh, the N-word's bad. Well, let's have a conversation about why some people think that so that we're all on the same page. That's not too much to ask.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having conversations with people about why certain slurs can be offensive. And have those conversations. By all means do, because that's how you educate people. And I'm glad that you ended this way, Cenk. I really am, because in all fairness, I am somewhat of a fan when it comes to the Young Turks. You do some great jobs, not all of it, but then again, if you can't criticize the left, then who can you criticize? But yeah, we have to stop making words the issue. If someone is offensive, the problem is not the words they use, but the fact that they're being offensive. Tell people how to behave, and they will behave. Unless, of course, they're arseholes, because there are plenty of those around as well. But silencing people because you disagree with whatever they're doing, and you're an oppressor. I'm sorry, no other word for it. You oppress people because you disagree with whatever viewpoint they have, whether their viewpoint is right or not. I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will fight to defend the right of you to say it. It's a very old saying. It's not mine. I didn't even steal it. I'm badly at remembering it to begin with. But yeah, we all know the drift. Oh, I used two sound bites from The Big Bang Theory. I'm a great fan of that series, and it fitted in here so well. Anyway, thank you for watching the little movie, and I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, feel free to drop some criticism on whatever I said or on whatever other people said. Keep it nice, though. I mean, there is no real reason to be offensive. But yeah, let's hear what you got to say.